Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel's Super Cute Creations. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and at this point you're relaxing. We had a very quiet Thanksgiving this year, and we are actually celebrating tomorrow. So our day was very quiet. Um, and I am excited to be able to just do a little bit of crafting. So, what this project is going to be is using up some book pages and making some bases for a snippet roll. And I apologize that I've got a glare on here with my glass. I'm going to just put this down. Maybe that'll help with the glare for you. There we go. And so what we're going to do is just pull out all of those scraps that we have. And this is some of the paper packs that I sell. This is linen paper. And it is an old um, law journal. And what I did is take these sheets of paper, which are this size right here, and I cut them into 2-inch strips. And I was able to get 3 2-inch strips per page, and then I ended up with a 1-inch strip. So we're going to make 2 different size snippets. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of sort scraps today. So what I'm going to do with the itty bitty scraps, we're just going to throw in this bowl as we go, because those are the ones that we're going to use on the smaller one. And I'm pretty much just going to try to stick with some book pages to get a good base to start. And then we'll go from there. But you could use scrapbook paper. You could use pretty much anything. So if you're jumping in here, please say hello. I'd love to know who's in here joining me today. And this is just a super easy, fun way to get started. And what I like to do is just start with a base. And then kind of go from there. So I want it to hang over. We'll trim this, or we don't have to trim it. We'll make a decision as to what we want to do. Hello, Addicted to Ephemera. Welcome. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Please say hello, and if you don't mind, definitely share the video. I'd love to spend some time with as many people as we possibly can tonight. But I hope everybody had a great time. All of these, this book is from 1902. This is the official Gazette. And I actually sell some of these in my Etsy shop as well as when I do lives. So if you guys don't have, what I love to do is just give people a variety of papers, but use what you have on hand. I mean, I'm sure you have plenty of papers. You can use scrapbook papers for this activity. You can use fabric. I've used fabric before. But what I like to do is kind of try to keep the shades of the paper different as we go through. This is an old Sears and Roebuck catalog, and I love it because it has just different types of fonts and things like that. And I'm just going to use these pages. So I'd love to know what was everybody's favorite dish at Thanksgiving today, if you celebrated. What was the favorite thing that you had? And you just keep kind of going. And then you can do like this scrapbook paper. It's kind of a neutral color, so I would go ahead and add this one on here. Oh, you're in the UK. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you are joining me. I am here in Michigan and having an amazing day. The weather was gorgeous here. We don't get a whole lot of nice weather in November, so I was excited to have some beautiful weather, and just was a great and amazing day. And like I said, I just keep grabbing any type of pages I have. So I hope if you're sitting here and you're at home, grab some pages, sit as you're watching me, just cut some strips and start making some of these fun things. And the great thing about this is you can use any paper base. Don't use a really old. Hi, MK, welcome. Um, do not use real old brittle paper as your base because it will not hold up well. You want to use a nice, either heavyweight paper. You can use, I like to use a linen base paper if possible, just because it tends to hold up a little bit better. This is another great project if you have some really ugly scrapbook paper. Like sometimes if you go to a thrift store and you get, a lot of times I'll find, or a yard sale, and you'll find some really cheap um, scrapbook paper, but it might be super ugly. I don't worry about it. I just go ahead and get it, and then I use it for projects like this. And I just cut it into strips, and I cover it. Or you can make master boards. You can do the same thing by covering a whole piece of paper with lots of pieces. And oh, welcome, Mary Kay. You can actually, use them as master boards. Keep covering them. If you have crafty friends, this is a great gift to give them. And so I'm going to show you also how I store mine. And this is a way that you can, get your ephemera out. You can just do all kinds of things to make this beautiful. Yeah, it is a snippet roll. It's basically, I like to start with a neutral base because you can do so much with a neutral base. Sometimes when we don't do a neutral base, it makes it a little more difficult to use. So like in this case, see, I just pulled out of my little one. I didn't cover this, but I love that the Gazette, the official words are on there. So I'm just going to pull that up and we're going to just add that right there. And it's hanging off, but I'm fine with that because I want to make sure. Look at that'll still be on there. You'll still be able to see official when we trim that off. So we'll just keep going. And if you get a moment, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. It's been a long time since I've been on. Things have been very crazy in our life over the past year. And so I am just getting back. I'm going to pull this out. This is some foreign book page. So we're going to add some of this to the pile as well. But I am back and just super excited to start sharing with you all again. Having just a great time. I have a lot of thoughts about what we're going to be doing over the next few years. Yeah, it is a faux base, and it's definitely something that you can use for a lot of different clusters. And I love making clusters. And this is a great project to do also, like if you're traveling. A lot of times I will take and put these in baggies, Ziploc bags. And if I'm traveling, I can just simply take an old cover of a book like this, and I can put it on my lap. And I put it on my lap like this, and I just dig out of my baggie and use my little glue stick and just keep going. And so you can do this while you're traveling. So if any of you are getting ready to do travel for the holiday season, or you ride a bus to work, you commute to work, or you want to do any of those, you need something to do with your hands, this is a great opportunity. Magazine pages can be a great tool or base for these as well. Because I'm trying to keep with the black and white base, we'll just pull one of those. Just trying to grab as many as I can. This is the old 1889 school law. This came from a friend of mine, Luann, and she found this for me and sent this to me, so I appreciate that. Oh, old newspapers is a great way to use this up. And you can also use newer newspapers. I sometimes will take the junk mail that I get. We get junk mail on Mondays, and I will take the junk mail and cut it into strips and use it as well. And you can just keep just building amazing things. And it's just a great way to have something to start with. Now, what I do also with these is I am going to eventually stitch these. This will dry and I'll stitch it and make some beautiful some stitching on here. We'll add all kinds of things. But just keep layering. I just can't tell you how beautiful this becomes when you just keep layering, layer after layer after layer. And really, you can change the direction of the paper as well. You could ink up some paper. I have run paper also through my Sizzix machine. And I have created embossed paper, which looks gorgeous on this as well. Let's see. Gail Agustinelli was making ruffles with the material. I bet you could do paper ruffles with the strips. So cool. Absolutely. You could totally take this when it was dry and you could ruffle it up and sew, and it would be an amazing, look at how pretty that would be. We could ruffle that up, do a stitch down here, and that would be absolutely gorgeous. So yes, that's a great idea. Great idea. And I do not throw these little itty bitties away either, you guys. I'm going to show you because we're going to use those on the 1-inch pieces. And this is great for stamping. So you can get your stamps out and you can stamp over things as well. We'll do a little bit of that. I'll show you how so for example, I think I have a stamp right here. So I can take this Tiffany & Co. stamp, and I can just grab, this would be a great piece to do because this has a really, a lot of white space on the edge. And so you can just ink up a stamp, stamp it, and we'll let that kind of dry. You can see it's a Tiffany & Co. Oh, that would look gorgeous to distress the edges. In fact, I could do that and show everybody. So that's a great idea, Mary Kay, excuse me. You can go around and you could distress every edge of the paper if you wanted to, and put that down. And boy, wouldn't that be beautiful to do as well. So lots of different things you can do. I'm going to go ahead and put one more piece down here, and then we're going to put this stamped image down. And then what we'll do is we'll start distressing some edges so you can see what that looks like as well. And you can do this. This strip does not have to be the same all the way down. You can continue to do, I'm at about, let's see, 16, I'm at 26 inches right now. I think we'll add one more sheet to this one, and then we'll go ahead and start another one, and we will do, we will ink around each piece. Like Mary Kate suggested. So I would love to know in the chat how you all use your snippets. I like to use them to make embellishments, but I have also used them for belly bands. I have used them to embellish cards. I have used them with just a strip of washi tape on a note card and then putting a piece on there. I've used them for tag toppers. But let's just share some ideas tonight about what you can use these for. And you can also, you know, the letters can go every which way. So you don't have to keep them going the same way every time. Welcome, welcome everybody. I see there's a few more people jumping in. I appreciate you joining tonight. I hope everybody's having a great Thanksgiving and you have had lots of yummy food. I'm excited. Tomorrow we're actually celebrating our Thanksgiving, so we are going to be having food tomorrow. But I'd love to know, how might you use these amazing pieces? And you can do really large pieces like I'm using right here. You can take this little piece right here. Oh, nope, it's not big enough. I thought I could. For edges on your journal page, awesome. Making faux tickets. That's a great idea. I love that idea. I love that idea. Yeah, you can definitely use them a variety of ways. All right, I'm going to put one more piece here, and then we're going to go and we're going to play with just doing, we're going to play with, sorry. We're going to play with the idea of inking around them all. Yes, stamping on them is a great idea. I am not really good at using my stamps. I have a ton of them and I don't use them very often. So we're going to set this one to the side. I'm going to let it dry completely. And I'm going to start another one. And we're going to start with the Tiffany & Co. Because we went ahead and cut this. But this isn't quite as big as the paper. And on this one, I want to show you what Mary Kay is talking about when she says she distressed around each one. So we did a little bit of inking. I'm going to cover the top of this because it's not quite long enough. And I'm going to just fudge it just a little bit because it's not quite long enough to start here. And then we'll get going. All right. So we're starting with this one. Oh, darn, that whole thing is going to be a pain here. Let me find a piece here. We're going to start with this piece. And I'm just going to ink it very heavy. And we're going to go around each thing. Now, you could do a Christmas one. This would be so pretty to ink up like red and green. That would be absolutely gorgeous. I could see that being really cool. You You could do, if you had a beautiful rose colored journal, I could see would be gorgeous to do one of these neutral colored ones and do it in like a pink color or a dusty blue. Look at how pretty that is. That stamped Tiffany image. You could do a lot of things. Yeah. I just never seem to get out all my ink pads or my stamps. I don't know. I am not the neatest crafter. When I start crafting, it's like a bomb has gone off. I have not figured out how to craft a little bit neater. And so see, I'm just inking this and then we're going to just put it down. But before I do that, we're going to put another strip on here. Whoops, I'm getting off camera. Sorry about that. And you want to overlap. I forgot to tell you this. You want to overlap by about a 1/2 inch. And that is super important because if you don't, you'll could have a weak seam, and you do not want a weak seam with these. So I always tell people, especially when I'm teaching classes face to face, is I tell them all the time, like, make sure you are overlapping that by a good 1/2 inch. You can see this is 1800s um, music paper, and it's very, very brittle. So you have to be careful when you're using it. But turn your paper every which way as you're going. Look at how pretty that is. So pretty. So pretty. I love it. So I would love to know, what is on your desk? What are you guys working on? It has been so long since I have been creating. I would love to know, what are you all working on? Anybody working on any sort of gifts for others? I did make a very cute, simple little journal. Basically, very simple. I just ordered a printable from Etsy, and I bought some little notebooks from Amazon, and I have not finished it. But this is my cute little coffee. I'm making these little coffee journals, and I'm going to put some. Actually, it would be so cute to run something like this across the top. Maybe the 1 inch. Ooh, I might do that when we get to that. Ah, I love it. I was going to put some fabric or something up here, but these little journals I'm working on right now. A Christmas folio stuffed with ephemera for my friend. Ooh, that sounds fun. Your friend is going to be excited. Okay, so I want to show you this. So this says March 25th, 1902, and I just can't bear to not use that piece. Okay, I'm going to throw this piece away. Oh, thanks. But we're going to ink this up, and we're going to glue this at the bottom. And I mean, this is what I mean by you can use up so many scraps. I'm going to take this and I'm adding it right here to the bottom. And look at how stinking cute that is. Love it. And here, we're going to take this Louis Vuitton stamp, and I'm only going to stamp part of it, but I'm just going to go ahead, and you can use partial stamps. You can do pretty much anything, but I just added this cute little stamp piece, and I should have ripped that before I actually stamped the Louis Vuitton on there, but leave it to me. So what I'm going to have to do on this one is find myself some scissors, and we're going to distress it in a different way. You can just take a pair of scissors and just rub it on the bottom, and look at that. It looks distressed. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, But if you get too close where you can't rip paper, just take the edge of your scissors and just rub it along there. And it looks like you've ripped it, but you haven't. So that's my little cheat tip when I forget to stamp a little bit higher on a piece. Please, if you're in here, please say hello so I can chat with you. Also, please, if you don't mind sharing this video, if you have groups or places that people might be interested in just sitting home alone tonight, or bored, I would love for you to share this video so that we can chat with some more people. Look at how cute that is. Oh my goodness, I love it. So you can also so like right here, I'm going to take this little stamp because I don't want to put another piece of paper. So let's see if I can do this without causing a, all right. So I don't want to stamp over the Louis Vuitton part. So I'm going to just put a mask over it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to, oh, thank you. I'm going to stamp just like that. And what I'm showing you is what I did is kept that cream paper, but I did a mask stamp over that. So it actually looks like it's a piece of paper. So that's another way to cover up things. You can do what's called a mask stamp. And that's another way to just have some fun with paper. All right, so I'm loving this notice to dealers that came from the Sears and Roebuck catalog. So I'm going to use that. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see some people joining in. I'm going to do a giveaway today before we end tonight. So I'm going to be giving away one of these snippets is going to come in the mail free to somebody. But, oh, darn it. See, I do this a lot too. I forget to ink. I get talking and I forget to ink. Oh my gosh, washi tape is amazing. I have used washi tape before. I have made my own washi tape and added it, which is super fun as well. In fact, you can take paper like this, and I'll show you. And you can make it look like washi tape by stamping images along. And this you can use, you could even run it down the center. You could even stitch something like this along the middle here. If I wanted to, I could take and add this piece right on over top like this and create a whole nother look. As simple as that. So when I say that you can do a lot of things, and now look, I forgot to do that. So now I'm going to have to just come back here and add a new strip on. So there's so many ideas, you guys. And in this, we're just using neutrals. All I'm using is book pages. I'm using a distress ink, vintage photo, and we're using 2 stamps. That's it. Tiffany & Company and Louis Vuitton stamp. And that's all we're doing. And we're just playing. We're just playing with what we have. So I hope that this will inspire some of you to dig out those book pages that are sitting there, or all those little scraps that are just, you're saving them because you can't bear to get rid of them. If you're anything like me, you cannot bear to get rid of them. And you get them out and you just start making some strips so that you can do other things to them to make them super fun. All right, I'm going to dig in here a little bit more and see what I have. I just grabbed, well, there's another piece that we can definitely stamp on. Okay, so we've been running everything sort of this way. So I want to show you another way. So as you know, we did this one, we've got this one, we've done this one. Now, sometimes what I like to do is think about using them as belly bands. And so in that case, I want to position my paper a little bit differently. And so I'm just going to go ahead and add this together, but we're going to position it like this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our little paper scraps. But we're going to do our paper scraps this way. So I'm just going to add them. We're just going to add and go. And I'm not going to ink these ones because what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to let some of these dry, and then I'm going to actually run the strips through my Sizzix and give some texture to these. What I wish I had, and I had some in my stash and I don't have any right now. I wish I had some Braille paper, because if you have Braille paper, oh my gosh, you will absolutely love it on these strips. If you've not ever done that, if you get an opportunity or you ever find Braille paper, grab it because it is amazing to work with. I absolutely love it. It creates great texture for your journals. It's just so much fun. So much fun. I should not have gone that far up. So I'm going to put, since I have glue there and it's leaving a mark, I'm going to put a little piece of music paper there. And we're going to keep on going. So I recommend that when you're doing these, that you make some strips that are vertical, make some strips that are horizontal. Really think about using your paper wisely. Really look at the words, the textures. Like, I love the look of this. So this would be super cool to have these gears on here. So I'm just going to add this on. This is a little whiter than the rest of the paper, but that's okay because I can always rip this off or move this to another spot. Or I can always take, if I wanted to make it look a little more vintage, I can just add a little ink to it, and that will help us blend that in. All right. We have paper galore. All right. Sometimes I get so much on my desk that I have to get rid of some of these pieces. So I'd love to know some more ways you all are using these snippets, because I think there's probably a ton of ways that I have not thought of using them. And I think I love this. Oh, I love ledger paper. And somebody's probably cringing saying, why are you ripping up ledger paper? Well, because I love it so much. And I used to hoard it and save it. And now I use it in my projects. I think, you know what? There's no sense in hoarding it. Oops. Didn't realize I didn't stick that one down. we go. All right. What other papers do we have? You can use tissue paper too. The other thing I forgot to tell you is sometimes I will stamp on tissue paper, and that creates a really awesome effect as well. You can also use napkins, and I have done the same thing with napkin pieces and created snippets, strips with napkin pieces. So that's another way you can use it. Um, there's just so many ideas and ways that you can use up scraps that you have with you. Um, we'll do one more strip this way, and then I'll show you with napkin scraps what you can do. Because a lot of times, I love to use all those itty bitty pieces of napkin. Those are a fun way to collage with those as well. So your washi tapes, your napkins, any of those things can be used. All right, we're almost there. And then we'll grab the napkins. We'll use this little guy up since it's still sitting on my desk. Put him right here. We got this little guy. And you can always go back in and go over some of these. This is not something that, you know, a lot of times I will make these, let them dry for a day or two, come back to them. You can do stamping all over them to create another texture. I have jelly printed over them before. If you have a jelly print mat, there's just so much you can do with these that you, once you get started, they are super addicting. Super addicting. All right, so we'll let this one dry now. And like I said, these all dry really well, and then I will take the sewing machine and sew down them. I'll trim the edges. Sometimes I don't trim the edges, but let me show you what you can do with the napkin scraps in these. So same process. So same process with the napkins as, actually, let's do the napkins on these 1-inch pieces. And we might have a little bit of problem because of the holes. So, but let's use these, and we want to use all of our scraps up. So what we're going to do is we are going to take all these itty bitties that are in my bowl, and we're going to clean these itty bitties up. And I'm mostly just going to make sure that I can get them over these holes so that we have some stability. And these are so itty bitty, but that's okay. We're going to use them up. And they're not covered everything, but that's okay because we're going to cover it with our napkins. Give me a second here. We're not wasting a thing. Now, as long as we don't get it stuck to my paper. The other thing, you might want to work on a mat that like an old cutting mat or something that has a little bit of a plastic edge rather than paper that this will peel off of a little bit better. Okay, so I know this is not perfect, but we're going to now take our napkin scraps, and I don't have any scraps, so we're going to make some scraps. We're going to peel this away just like this. And I'm just going to pull these and we're going to just use them on here. So this is another way if you have all those little napkin scraps, if you're making things with napkins or you have tissue paper, we're going to just add it and go. We're going to add it and go. And then I'll show you, we will dry it. And I love this because you can see, I know it's hard for you to see right now because it's not completely dry. You can see a little bit on here. You can see the words through the napkin. And when this dries, it is so beautiful. You get that little bit of peekaboo through the napkin. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I actually like to run my glue stick over the top, which I know is kind of weird. But when it dries, I like the matte look and I like the fact that it kind of decoupages it right into the actual paper. But yeah, you can just go and go and go. And so I'm just gonna, I mean, what can be better than using up all these little pieces that we always have all over our desks and you feel guilty about throwing them away. All we have to do is just use them. Get some more of this poppy. And we'll lay this on here. And we'll finish it off with this piece. Okay. And this makes kind of like a washi tape effect. And then you can just take your scissors, and I like to trim it from the back so I can see. And you can just trim this. I also will sometimes take just the white, these pieces that we often throw away of the napkin, and I will decoupage over the whole plain piece. I'll show you that option too here in a minute. And then all these itty bitties you could use. I'm not going to keep them because I have so many, but you could keep, I mean, you could keep these crumbs and you could keep going and decoupage a whole nother strip. And there we go. We have this little strip that is an absolutely beautiful piece that we can then continue to layer over and over and over. So let me show you on this strip that we did this way. And then I'll let everybody go tonight, but I do want to show you that you can take this and you can create a matte finish right over here by just taking your glue, or you can use matte medium. You can use watered down. Sometimes I'll use watered down glue, and you just put this over here. And then what I like to do, I don't think I have one in here, so I'll have to use this. I usually use an old gift card. Then I just will kind of go over it. Oops, I tore it a little bit. That's okay. And then we're just going to lightly lay this over until it dries. And a lot of times these napkins they have a little bit of an embossed look to it. So it will give that emboss look right over top as well. Vellum, yes, you can definitely use vellum. Although I will tell you, I have not been, as long as you're going to sew over the vellum, it's great. I have found vellum is not very flexible. So I struggle sometimes with vellum when I'm doing snippet rolls because it's not as flexible as some of the other materials. Yes, this is a napkin. I'm just using that inside piece that we normally toss, that we're normally tossing. I'm just putting it right over the top. You can use tissue paper. I've used white tissue paper before, and that's an awesome tool that creates a beautiful finish over the top, a matte finish as well. And so you just, all you're doing is just kind of taking it from the collaged form and turning it into a solid form again before you do your next layer of whatever that's going to be. And so then what I do is I take these, I will take my scissors and I trim this up. And then you can stamp if you want. You can leave it as is. You can do all kinds of things, but it just gives it a little bit of a different look. Gives it some different texture. And you don't have to cut this and make it square up if you don't want to. You know, you can do whatever you are comfortable with. But as you can see, then it creates this sort of matte finish. It almost looks like you've gessoed the whole thing. And then what I like to do is come in with a stamp of some sort. And I will just stamp periodically, which creates more texture. And all I'm doing is taking and turning my stamp different ways. Look at how pretty that is. And this can actually be used for ribbon on a present. I have used that before to wrap gifts. I have used this for when I'm shipping out packages out of my Etsy store to go around ephemera. But look at how beautiful just taking that white piece of napkin does. And then you can even, as I said, I can just gently rub it over the embossed part of the napkin and it will start to bring that color up. So like right here, I know it's probably really hard for you to see, but let me rub this over and you start to get this beautiful look. So I hope that these ideas were helpful to you. I hope you use some of these ideas. I would take and put these, roll these up. I'll show you in just a minute how I roll them up. You can use a old spool of thread, old thread spool. But what I like to do is I like to and like I said, these are not done by any means. These are just bases. What I like to do is take these clothespins that are like this, and I just slide a piece down like this, and then I just gently roll them on. Whoops. And definitely, make sure that you let these dry completely. Otherwise, they'll be very curly. But you can just roll them on here. And you now have this beautiful paper ribbon, snippet, whatever you want to call it. And I love to store these like this. And then I just take a piece of fiber, whatever kind of fiber that is that I can find. And I will simply just tie it. And that's how I store these cute little snippet rolls. And you can stack a bunch of these up places. You can put them in a bowl. You can put them in all kinds of things. You can put them, toilet paper rolls are a great idea. But yes, you can do them on all types of things and you end up with this cute little item. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that it inspires you to get your scraps out and start playing. I hope that you take some time. If you're watching the replay, please let me know you're watching the replay. Give me a thumbs up. Please share this. And I look forward Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a live sale. And that live sale is going to have a lot of really amazing things. So I hope that you're able to join me for that. So I hope everybody has a great night and have a wonderful evening and day. Bye, everybody.